I've got a little itch. Down there. Would you mind?
I've loved playing all varieties of hardcore games over the years. I've blasted through the streets of Tarkov for literal thousands of hours, wandered the wasteland of twice-fucked Chernobyl seeking artifacts because this loser told me to, and I've been killed over and over and over again by gate campers in EVE Online. I'm talking awful UI, janky, goofed up, trash heap messy types of games. I love them all because they appeal to a dysfunctional part of my lizard brain that constantly catastrophizes at every turn, while offering me responsibility and the opportunity to change the outcome by skill, dumb luck, or mentally etching muscle memory responses through repetitive yet engaging gameplay. However, one of many games has eluded me for any form of enjoyment. An indie game so well received, it has over 45,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews, sold 2 million copies for the reasonable price of $30, and has boatloads of content creators milking it for every entertaining drop of its essence. That game is Kenshi. Kenshi has a level of player-hating hopelessness and difficult edge that's familiar to folks in this genre. A feeling of infinite somethings out there among the nothing. Monsters waiting to ambush at you at any moment, and a depth bordering on the edge of autism, and usually a cult following loved irrelevant of its shortcomings. Kenshi's a niche hardcore RPG. It doesn't care about you. You're a nobody. You can't fight, you can't run, you can barely mine, and your stats offer you a deceptively obvious but aggressively devious frame of reference. You have 10 attack. Cool. You actually have 4. Are you hungry? No. Your weapon's heavy. It's got building, crafting, numbers go up, roleplay potential. It's got whatever the fuck that is. It's got it all. So what's not to love? This. I loathe having to sit and not interact with my game in a meaningful way aside from doing the same thing ad nauseum. I've seen plenty of gameplay by this point, from standard play on livestream, playing it myself for 10 hours many years prior, and pretty much everything by the likes of these fine folks. So while I have a very minor grasp on the game, I haven't retained much of a clue to what I'm doing, as you'll see soon. And this is Andy. I gave myself a goal that never came remotely close to fruition, to play a face-smashing martial artist ninja. I wanted a ninja organization guarded by horny Viking types, and the ability to train up a squad of newbies and send them out into the world. My goals are, 1. Attempt to establish a character and base in the world, and he's gone. In fact, these two are all that's left of my initial attempt to continue. Trapped as slaves, biding their infinite remaining playtime, watching and waiting for the perfect moment to slip away. So, feeling defeated, I restarted. I'm about 10 hours into a new playthrough following the exact same awful pattern as before. Except this time, I promised myself I'd stop playing it as safe. My characters aren't very strong because I rarely let them fight it out, but I feed them an ass-kicking once in a while to keep them on their toes. The streams are quiet, minus one viewer swinging by to let me yap incessantly about my discoveries, but overall I've done the same shit as before. Sit, mine, build up some people for an in-town base, and maybe travel somewhere until I get sent running with my tail between my legs. Bored, frustrated, and defeated, I sat down and contemplated my next move. Do I continue these boring runs that have some minor enjoyment in the depths of the base building that'll take me hours to scrape enjoyment from? Nay. I sat on my ass and watched someone who lovingly hates to adore hardcore games play it instead. I still didn't get it, but I wanted something new. A throwaway. A pointless shot in the dark with every intent to do something stupid. Not on accident this time. On purpose. Maybe not cheese, but maybe play the grind game just a smidge while I dream up some foolish heist or endeavor to run a caravan. I chose a horrible start. I played a Hiver prince named Soto, and his combat Hiver Chad buddy named Hammer. And Hammer was promptly dragged away, murdered sadistically, and eaten. Soto escaped for a little while, but was eaten too. I didn't close the game frustrated this time, though. When these characters died, after such a short struggle, I realized something. I cared about the outcome of the scenario. I was entertained. I was enjoying myself. I had barely started, it was already over, and I wanted to start again. Not because I got bored or enjoyed a certain point in the game more, but because the stakes of the characters were high from birth to their screaming while being masticated end. It had finally clicked. I think this might be what I'm after. The only way to win is to not care. Then it clicked again. I jumped into another character, this time to roleplay a hiver who'd follow my original intent of being a badass ninja who never used weapons and stole literally everything under the sun. I put a few in-game weeks into developing his skills with my same brain-dead pseudo-grinding procedure I formed from every efficiency guide out there, and I didn't mind. And then he bled out on the ground in front of a travel shop after being beaten by the guards because I stayed too late past closing time. And I didn't notice because I was sneaking to farm stealth XP. I've read many comments on other YouTube channels from people talking about how they too bounced off this game and couldn't understand what the hype was about. Kenshi's a beautiful mess. It's unattractive yet cool, it's janky, things break, they crash, and they simply do not do what the fuck you tell them to do. What? What was that? Lamppost, but I was thinking about it. Alarm raised? What did I do? Did I click on it? But I get it now. Kenshi's a game that's not intended to be played. It's to be experienced. It's not a game to be enjoyed. It's a sorrowful tale of triumph and failure. Whose story? Whoever. Whomever? Whatever. This game is a gem. A love letter to sandbox games if the gem was a turd in a cat's litter box. But it's still a gem. It's an unattractively stylized, at times broken, lovingly crafted mess. It's an 8 out of 10 game. Definitely worth your money if it clicks, but unfortunately you won't be finding a refund if it takes you 30 plus hours to like it like I did. And at this point, I started thinking about what the next thing I'd play would be, and I figured I'd target another game that I've bounced off of. Star Sector.